Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to 2/3 of the Roguecast.
That's right. Nick is off on a secret mission.
Yeah.
And so you get the dregs.
No, Nick's on a beach vacation.
Oh.
Let's not make him sound cool.
Randy,
he abandoned
you just
us.
blew his cover.
Oh, no.
The asset is out in the open.
Oh, no.
We need to call him back in.
Okay, give me the knock list.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, Nick's off hopefully having a good time.
Yep. And as a result, you just get me and Dave.
Yeah, that's right. We're both loudmouths.
It's true.
You
may not even notice.
I guess we've all done a bunch of podcasts.
Yep.
Nick did podcasts separate from us over the years, too.
He did.
But I don't think we have any inability to talk on our own.
I'm a very quiet person.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you want people to, people want you to be quiet.
Yes, that's what I meant. And then I'm not gonna. I got a podcast, baby.
All right, let's
Ain't
hear
nobody can put this white straight man down during Pride Month.
Oh God. Hey, it's a white straight ally. I think that's all for the good.
Yeah, we did it. We have the store. If you haven't been in, we decked out for Pride this year. We got.
Yes.
I asked Serena. I was like, "Hey, this year, let's really go. Let's. We want to really send the message of where we are with Pride."
Right.
And she and Jeanette understood the assignment.
Yes.
It is. There's rainbows everywhere.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
It looks great. So yeah, when you come in, we are 20% gayer for this month.
Enjoy the decor.
Yep.
Yes. Wear your best.
Yeah, we are all about Pride always. And especially this month.
Yes, this year, this now more than ever.
Yeah, for sure. Bit of housekeeping. We're about 3 weeks out from Free RPG Day.
Yep.
I just got an email telling what's in the kits, so hopefully we'll be updating the event with some more information about what actually going to be giving out on the day.
Right.
And also there's a bit to note about damage replacements for comics. This is a weird thing. Some retailers are pickier about damages than we are.
Yep.
Some readers are pickier about damages than we are.
We do always try to be careful, but when things ship to us, we don't get a say in it. So sometimes things come through and there's a little ding or something.
Things are dense. Well, this one, the print run of a few things from Image and DC was bad enough that they decided to send new printings out.
Yes.
So if you got a copy of Absolute Batman number 20, Absolute Martian number 11, Barbara Gordon Breakout number 1, a few other things. There's a list in the store.
Yep.
And there's a list in our this week's dispatch.
Uh-huh.
But if you got a bad cover of cover A of these books, you can bring in your copy, swap it out for a new copy. It has a different color bar. It's second printing, has a new cover logo thing, but it's otherwise identical. If you're not happy with the condition of your book.
Yep.
This is again. There's only about I want to say there's about 10 books. A lot of them are small Imager books.
It seemed like it was just like a glitch somehow at the printers.
But the big one was Absolute Batman number 20. If you got a copy and you're like, oh, this one has dings, I don't like it, bring it in and get a second print. It will be a second print. If that
it's a
matters
second
to you.
print, yeah.
They are technically second prints.
Okay.
So the first printings are all the ones that went out.
Yep.
So just worth noting.
Maybe those are rare now. Now with one rare ding.
There is that, yeah. We'll be doing that replacement all through the week, and then we'll probably put the others that for sale since we don't have much Absolute Batman number 20 left.
Right.
Let's talk about games. The big game released this week is Ravenloft, the new D&D Ravenloft.
Yep. This is this is a setting, a campaign setting, with also lots of cool new player options and things like that.
Yep.
But it's been around since what, early '80s, mid '80s,
yes, for sure. And I want to say they did a Castle Strahd adventure in D&D 5.
Yes.
And I feel like they did
that had
another...
the cool thing in the coffin.
I think they did another Ravenloft book. I could be wrong.
They did at some point, I guess this is the 5.5 thing.
This is the 5.5
we think
version.
of the related domains of dread.
Yes.
So what's made this always one of the most popular adventures and settings in here is that it's an opportunity to do like gothic horror, for starters. There's other stuff too, but gothic vampire horror is the heart of Ravenloft. And Count Strahd is a beloved villain. He's got a tragic backstory. He's cool. He's evil. He's like Dr. Doom, you know.
Yes.
And there's a lot of cool art and stuff with him, and a lot of built up lore around the nation that he rules over called Barovia. So, but what you also get with this, and of course we have the alt cover that a lot of people will dig, and it's very cool looking. Is all this other lore about the domains of dread. These are sort of mist-shrouded horror realms that you can drop into almost any D&D setting or have your characters travel through like portals and things to get there. Well, not portals. It's literally almost always the mist, this sort of magical mist. And so there's a setting that's kind of like, you want to do a sort of slasher type thing? I don't have these right in front of me to look
I have them in front of me.
Okay.
There are 17 fully realized, what they call Dark Lords.
Yep.
So these are like, and
There's a big bad at the heart of each one of these things.
They include Strahd, Cthulhu,
Yep.
Lord Soth from Dragonlance.
Oh, that's cool.
And then a few others, just great names. Aslan Rex, Haslik, Victra Mordenheim. Mordenheim is a sort of weird science Frankenstein-y one.
Right, that's from Lemortia, which is their like sort of icy Frankenstein setting.
Chakuna, which is a name I don't know. It's a Dark Lord of Valakan, a werepanther.
Oh, that's cool.
And
this is like something rooted in African folklore?
Probably so. And then Ebonbane, which is just a cool name.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a quick search to see what Ebonbane's deal is.
But yeah, I know that like some of these, like if you want to do like a zombie type adventure, there's a Domain of Dread that has like very zombie centric ones.
Yep.
If you want to do like a slasher adventure with like some sort of unstoppable Jason type guys, there's a domain for that.
There are 16 Domains of Dread in this new book.
Yep.
There's also a map pack and a keeper screen and a Taroka deck.
Yeah, Taroka is their tarot deck that's practiced by the Vistani natives of Barovia in there, and they work the lore into the story. So it's imagine if like a tarot deck and doing tarot draws and things like that would literally allow you to sort of change outcomes, get some access to secrets and things like that. And then also you just kind of get to have fun with the deck itself. You will literally own the same deck that your character in the game would be using.
There's also new subclasses, including the Reanimator Artificer.
Oh, that's fun.
And the Hollow Warden Ranger. New Bard College. There are 40 new monsters.
What is the Bard College?
The Bard College is the College of Spirits.
Oh, cool.
There's also the Undead Patron Warlock. And then they have something called Dark Gifts, which are sort of things you can do for your character to make them a living shadow, a mistwalker, a symbiotic being. So you can do sort of, they've added the Haunted One and Investigator backgrounds. You play a corrupted character. If you want to
gothic it up, horror it up, but like in an adventure-y kind of cool way, you can do. There's some cool options.
But yeah, looks very cool.
Blade is called the Daywalker, which is a very cool thing. Yep. That kind of stuff.
You can be the Nightwalker. You can be the Midday Walker.
What about?
You can be the early morning walker.
3 a.m.
The 3 a.m. walker.
Kind of got the munchies walker.
Yes. Yeah. Very specific, but yes.
Anyway, yeah, it looks very cool. I feel like this is one of those, obviously, like, if you run D&D and stuff, it's cool for you. If you just like horror or want to read some neat lore, I think it's pretty cool. And there's a reason this setting has been beloved. And I think, like, previously, although the Domains of Dread was an idea, I think, that originated in either, like, the late 80s or early 90s. So I know they had been around. But them being specifically packaged together with Ravenloft stuff, I think maybe new-ish.
Yeah.
It's basically you're buying other horror options too.
We also got a popular new card game called DNUP, Down Up.
Okay. Yeah.
The cards are all double-sided. They've got like two numbers, like 8 and 3, or 6 and 7, and basically you can flip them up and down. And the goal is to get rid of the card. So it's a quick play, popular game, kind of like Flip 7, one of those.
That's 6, 7.
That's what people have been looking for. No, they did not say that. We got a game called Ace of Spades, which is a game where you're channeling your magic through poker plays to resolve duels. I believe.
Is this our second recent poker game?
There's a bunch of poker games.
That's interesting.
This one is a solo or 2-player co-op game. Uses poker mechanics to duel against the spawn of your nightmares.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poker versus the Nightmares of Evil?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Lords of Waterdeep gets a new printing. It's been out of print for a little while.
This is one of the most popular D&D games that we've ever had.
It's a great board game, too. You are one of the secret Lords of Waterdeep. You have a secret goal.
And by the way, just in case you don't know, Waterdeep, the big city in D&D.
Yep.
The Forgotten Realms.
Run by masked lords, so nobody knows who they are.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
And you have a secret goal. And you are basically hiring adventurers, which are represented by little cubes of 4 different colors, to go and do schemes. And there's cards that represent adventures. And you're also like building up buildings that you go to get resources.
Right. Ultimately, you're trying to like elevate yourself and your political standing.
You're trying to get enough influence to be the Lord of Waterdeep.
Right. Sort of Is there like one
The
main
Supreme Lord of
Waterdeep?
Waterdeep. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not capitalized, so it may not be a...
Okay.
Maybe not Supreme like the Taco Bell Supreme. More Supreme like the Supreme Court.
Right. There's...
Corrupt and useless.
Oh, no. But yes, people love this game. I've never played this game. I hear it's great.
Yep. I love this game. I've played it many a time.
There's a lot of games that are about like sort of political factions and maneuvering and stuff like that.
Yep.
And like there's really good games. Although I gather is this kind of like worker placement?
Yeah, there's definitely a worker placement aspect to it.
But like when you're sending out people to like go adventuring into a dungeon and doing stuff like that, it just makes it kind of cooler, that D&D overlay.
It's really cool.
So yeah.
We got a game called Horloge, the Prague Astronomical Clock.
Okay.
I heard about this at Dice Tower West when my friends were wanted to play it. It's one of these heavy, like, building resource management thing.
Yep.
This is based on, there is actually an ancient astronomical clock known as the Horloge in the heart of Prague that marks the passage of time with an intricate mechanism and enigmatic figures.
Yeah.
So you are basically the master builder trying to leave your mark on history by adding the legendary and majestic calendar to the ancient Horloge.
That is
Crazy
very
theme.
specific.
Yep.
I am
It's also
familiar,
beautiful.
like a lot of like in the ancient world, you're going to find stuff in like Mesoamerica, Druidic stuff like Stonehenge. A lot of these things that have like sort of time and astrological significance, or are like kind of like calendars and stuff.
Yeah.
So. But I don't know about that specific one. That sounds fascinating. It's probably in 3 Dan Brown books.
Probably so. Sagrada gets an expansion. I just got a refresh. Sagrada is the game of building stained glass windows using dice drafting. Mm-hmm. Very pretty, very fun game. The new expansion adds 5 and 6 player capacity, new boards, new objectives, and new tools.
Okay.
And it also adds a potential co-op style game.
Oh.
We got a game called Cucumber Catastrophe, wherein a band of terrified cats must face every feline's worst nightmare, leaping in panic and losing their dignity. It's a trick taker.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
It's an all ages. It's busy younger.
Based in the terror of poor cats when they see a cucumber.
I guess.
Do you know about this?
Nope.
So about 5 or 10 years ago, I forget exactly when it was, there was a bunch of viral videos going around where people would put a cucumber on their floor, their cat would round a corner and see it and just launch into the air in terror because the cats register it as a snake or something like that.
That's just mean.
It is mean. I guess it's it's ultimately harmless. You're just briefly terrifying them. But anyway, yes, I'm not a fan of the prank. However, the phenomenon is a known thing now. A trick-taking game that just has funny art stuff based on cats freaking out, I'll allow it.
But also, I hope your cats slice you up in your sleep.
I agree. Don't mess with your cats. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Also, cats are assholes, but you don't need to torment them.
Listen, they're assholes, but they're your asshole. If you know what I mean.
We got a game called Market Fresh.
Yeah, carry on.
Yep.
Moving on.
It's a tile placement game. You're taking a crate. You're trying to move around fresh produce kind of thing.
Okay.
And we got Fathom, which is a tile-laying, pattern-building game of deep-sea exploration. Your marine biology teams. You're uncovering the secrets of an uncharted underwater ecosystem around a fictional island.
I like underwater teams and stuff. That's cool sounding.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, let's talk comics.
Yep.
DC's got a bunch of new stuff this week. Let's start with the next level book, which I know, Dave, you and I have been generally enjoying Next Level with Lobo and Batwoman and Deathstroke and Firestorm.
Yep.
The next one is...
You know, it's interesting to see... Usually when they kind of try and bring back somewhat B or C list characters...
Yep.
It's just, honestly, I feel like they're somewhat mid... The concepts behind them just aren't great. DC, though, has been on such a roll lately, and we don't know what all to attribute it to, but at least some of it has to go to... Who's the lady who...
Marie Javins.
Marie Javins.
Editor-in-Chief.
Editor-in-Chief of DC for, several years now.
Yeah, just a few.
Okay.
She's worked in the industry forever, but
it does seem like whoever helped get the team together on these, they're all people who are into their books and have a vision for those books.
Yep.
And so this week we have the newest Next Level is the Deadman. Deadman is a character who's been around since the 70s.
Yep.
Originally had super cool art by Neil Adams. And had a fun kind of adventure idea that made him very different from all other superheroes because he was kind of supernatural, very 70s in concept. But he was a kind of a tough guy trapeze artist. And he was murdered by bad dudes, same as Robin's origin.
It's like a man with a hook hand, right?
Yeah, there is a dude like that. And he goes to this sort of very, loosely, like Eastern, like Indian themed, what is it? Where's the land? Nanda Parbat, right?
Yeah.
He goes to this kind of Tibetan Eastern afterlife where he finds himself doing the bidding of
Ramakrishna.
Yeah.
Who is like God. It's like a feminine god.
Right. And has been characterized in so many different ways over the years, but that's the gist of it. He has he's still wearing his circus outfit, which is this kind of red jumpsuit with a little popped collar, and he's like a ghost who can inhabit people, and in order to have adventures and save people and stuff like that, he will take over a body. So I always remember this cool scene in Books of Magic, where there's these like thuggy assassins trying to kill this kid who has a lot of potential magic power, and like some like old lady on like an airplane like kicks the crap out of him and is like using her handbag and like bashing him in the head and doing like incredible acrobatics, and then reveals he's like, it's me, Boston Brand kid.
Yep.
He's like, it's Deadman.
Yep.
And like that's what he can do. He can take over anybody. In fact, Batman got very angry when he took him over.
Yes,
I remember at one point.
But this take is definitely a different take.
This is a new take.
So this is from the creators of Ice Cream Man, and they also did that Superman Kryptonite Spectrum. So they have a weird Vertigo-esque sort of Grant Morrison-esque.
Right. This is a person with an esoteric vision, and if you've read Ice Cream Man or the Kryptonite thing, you kind of know his vibe is weird and off-kilter, but also kind of a little ingenious.
Yeah.
Like, I would compare him to somebody like Denise Camp from Absolute Martian Manhunter.
For sure.
Like, if you like Absolute Martian Manhunter, you should almost certainly try the Deadman.
But this is a lot of Deadman. Like, he starts off at a hospital, rural hospital.
They rebuild his lore a bit.
Yep. He's guiding the dead to the afterlife a little bit more.
Yep.
And there is also a weird, like, serial killer going on that he's going to run into.
Yep.
There are demons. There's
his
a kid who
appearance now changes depending on like the environment he's in.
Yep.
So he was like at a hospital, and he kind of takes on. He's still got his colors and his sort of pale, skinny, athletic look.
Yep.
But he was like a hospital janitor. There, like a ghostly hospital janitor.
Yep.
But it'd be for wherever he is. And there's some like really fascinating writing in here. Like, this is a person who's thought about this lore.
Yeah.
I would argue more than anybody has thought about Deadman ever.
Yep.
And I'm still turning over some of it. Like, there's a few things I was like, I don't know if I love that. But there was a lot of stuff I did love in this. It's probably my pick of the week. And I feel like people need to try it out.
You know, the thing I like about All the Next Level, and this is not dissimilar to, like, Firestorm, and to some extent Lobo. Everybody's doing a different take. It feels...
Right.
Everyone's like, let's take these characters and do something interesting and new with them. Now, if you are one of the 10 Deadman fans... You may be like, why do you do any acrobatics? Because there's less of that. It's a different take. But it still feels like the character.
He is still, Boston Brand is kind of like an everyman, but they kind of made him a little bit, like, there's almost a little of Dr. Sleep to this.
Yeah.
The way he is kind of trying to comfort people in their final days. And, but Deadman is kind of a gregarious and outgoing ghost.
Yeah.
And so he, like, wants to, when he's, like, slipping into people's minds, which they do touch on a little bit, like, that's not always the coolest thing to be doing. But he's, like, he wants to know about them. He likes people. And it's a fascinating take on him. But, by the way, there's some disturbing stuff in here.
Yeah.
There is something that reminded me of, like, in the Neil Gaiman's Sandman, back in the original stuff when you met like the Corinthian.
Yeah, there's
and the
definitely
serial killer.
There's
convention.
some stuff that vibes like that.
There's some stuff that vibes like that. So anyway, I think people are going to dig it, but it's a weird one. But check it out. Yeah.
There is a weekly event for Pride, Justice League Dream Girls, a DC Pride event that is bringing in Dream, I think is her name, Galaxy. Okay. From the DCYA line. She's the purple girl.
Yep.
And teaming her with Dreamer, who is a former... In the comics, she originally was in the Legion of Superheroes, but she's actually one of DC's first trans characters.
Yep.
She is being co-written by the girl who played her on Supergirl.
Yep.
And this is a story of, like, the two of them meeting and working together, and they're in sort of a dream world. There's some different art. I can't remember who all the artists are, because
each different chapter kind of has a different vibe. I did notice. I need to read this because there's one that is set in Greece where Batwoman is. It's written by Greg Rucka.
Yep.
and it looks like she meets with Kate Spencer. They might even share a kiss.
Yeah.
But there is something, there is sort of events that go down there, and since I've been particularly connecting up with the Batwoman's world through that Next Level comic, I need to check it out.
But also the artists on this include Nicola Scott and Jay Bone, both really good.
The Jay Bone one is drawn to look like Batman the Animated Series.
Yep. Worth a look.
Yeah.
We have a new Elseworlds. They're doing some more of those. This is Supergirl Survive. This has art that reminds me a little bit of Phil Noto. It does. Is it Phil Noto? No.
It's not. It kind of has a neat premise, which is to say, although I think the first issue takes place almost entirely on Krypton.
On Argo City,
and you kind of see sort of what life is like for teenage Supergirl. Kal-El has only like just been born.
Yeah, the big difference in this What If is that the baby Kal and Supergirl are going to be basically, it looks like maybe lost on an alien world.
Right, they leave at the same time instead of separate rockets.
Yeah, so she doesn't age. He doesn't age out of her. So this is the lone wolf and cub.
Right, she is
or Grogu Mandalorian if you want to go that way.
And it seems like they're not going to get straight to like Earth.
Nope.
Like when they leave the exploding Krypton, they're going to have some what at least in the solicit, although we don't get to it in the first issue, sounded like sort of survivalist adventure. Like she's going to crash land on a space station or another planet or something, and maybe go to a bunch of different places. But I thought that was kind of a cool idea. Basically, Lone Wolf and Cub, Survivalist, Supergirl, and Kal-El.
Yeah. X-Men 97 Season 2. We're going to talk about the trailer. We talked about the fake trailer last week. We got the real trailer this week.
Sizzle reel or something, yeah.
But with that being announced, it's coming in July. I think July 1st even.
Oh, wow. So that's... Wait,
soon.
You mean it's less than a month away?
Less than a month away.
Wow.
Just barely less than a month away.
Barely less than a month away.
There is a X-Men Season 2 comic this week.
Yep.
Which seems to be, I think it's bridging between Season 1 and Season 2.
They like to do
that. It's a story of Forge and Bishop trying to figure out how the X-Men got lost in time. Sunspot and Jubilee are dealing with the after effects of all the stuff that happened at the end of Season 1 with the Sentinels and Genosha and all that. Yep. So X-Factor...
Are they in the present?
They're in the present.
But yes, lots of the X-Men are in the... a number of them are in the past.
The X-Men are in the past and the future. But so X-Factor is the Peter David X-Factor with Havoc, Multiple Man, Wolfsbane, Polaris, Strong Guy. But they are acting like the original X-Factor. They are hunting mutants down for the government.
Oh.
But they may actually be hunting mutants down for the government.
Oh, weird.
So there's a throwdown between them and some characters from...
have those characters shown up in X-Men 97 world
No, they're going to show up in... I mean, Forge had X-Factor in, like... There was a picture of him. He worked with them. They referenced
Forge
that.
Forge is heading this up?
Forge is not. Forge had it up in the cartoon.
Oh.
It was like a background thing.
Okay.
But anyway, in this one, X-Factor is throwing down with... not the Brotherhood of Mutants, but the ones that Rob Liefeld created, like Tempo.
Okay.
And I see Random in there. Some random, like, 90s bad guys.
Okay.
And Sunspot and... Jubilee get caught up with Rusty and Skids.
Oh, interesting.
So there's some nods to like the original X-Factor in 97 with the current X-Factor as well.
One of the things X-Men 97 did so well was to pull stuff from multiple eras and kind of make it their own.
Yeah, this does it too. This issue introduces their version of X-Force and their version of... the Acolytes, who had a different leader than Magneto.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a good first issue. It has me jonesing to rewatch and see what's coming up in 97. So if you're hungry for more X-Men 97, and I absolutely am, feels like it's been way too long, this will serve as methadone to your heroin.
But also we'll be talking about that trailer in just a little bit.
We will. There's a new series of What If coming out. There's a series of one-shot. This week is Jerry Dugan, who did, I forgot, the X-Men stuff right after Krakoa.
Oh, that's right.
This is What If Cyclops stayed with Madeline Pryor?
This is a What If miniseries where each issue is going to focus on a different hero or
it's like the original What If. Each issue is a completely different story.
Okay. Is it just one story or is it multiple?
It's just
stories?
one story. So the next one is What If Thor got Spider-Man's symbiote suit?
Weird.
Yeah.
That's not one that I considered.
What If tends to go a little weird.
But you know what? I've read so many good symbiote stories lately that I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot.
We got a thing called J. Scott Campbell's Just Spectacular Collection, which is all of the variant covers. He did a connected variant cover, which is shown in the back of this little one-shot.
Yep.
And then they drew out each character for covers.
Yep.
So you get to see each character individually. He talks a little bit about the design on some of them.
It's basically a little poster book of all his covers, his recent covers, though.
If you are a fan of J. Scott Campbell, if you like art books, if you like sort of interesting take on the Marvel characters, this is all worth a look.
Yeah. Just looking at here, I'm like... Cyclops, Thor, Cap, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Black Cat, Magic. J. Scott Campbell is known for beautiful women. And so there is certainly that there. Rogue, Storm, and all that. But you'll also see, I think pretty cool versions with his kind of slightly exaggerated cartooning of, Venom, Daredevil, Doctor Doom, Carnage. So, yeah, I like this. I think I might pick it up.
Yeah.
I confess to have enjoyed him from back in the, Danger Girl days in the 90s.
Yeah. We've got Transformers the movie. This is a 3-issue adaptation. This is just the original adaptation of the movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, and I might need to adjust my sign, because I assumed it was a new one.
Nope.
But this is clearly the original Marvel.
Written by Ralph Macchio, art by Don Perlin.
Yep.
Adaptation of the classic movie. They're going to do a nice hardcover collecting it all at some point.
Yep. In case you need to see Optimus die again.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, #1. This is a new number 1 by Marguerite Bennett.
You know what? In making the sign, I found out what its deal is.
Okay.
Do you know what its deal is, Randy?
No.
So I guess they, maybe in the lore of the main comic that they've been doing, they closed out the Power Rangers, and it's supposed to have been 10 years, or is it maybe only 5 years, but 5 or 10 years since then. So it's the characters all having gone about their lives, which we've seen these kind of stories in superhero comics before, but never with the Power Rangers.
Yep.
I know that they do, among other things, they've got cool new costumes and everything, and they're called in, and there is some question of, can they be the team that they once were? How have they changed? And all this stuff.
Right.
And that sounded pretty cool, even though I know nothing about Power Rangers.
Right. I know they're doing an Ultimate Power Rangers as well, so...
Okay, makes sense.
Mad Cave has a book from Paul Tobin, who has written a bunch of good stuff, called Junk Punch. And it is about a girl who has a compulsion to punch people in the junk.
Yes.
It's like a weird cyberpunk world. It's got beautiful artwork.
The art is actually really lovely cartooning.
Yeah.
But concept-wise, I feel like this is in the vein of almost of Shirtless Bear Fighter.
Yeah.
And what's the Daniel Warren Johnson do a power bomb.
Yeah.
It's an over-the-top thing, but that art was actually really cool.
It's very much in sort of a cyberpunky world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for the kids. I see nudity in here.
Yep.
There's a brothel, it looks like.
Yep, and a fair amount of junk punching.
I read the first 3 issues and it made 3 pages and made me laugh. So if you like a humor book, Zach Kaplan, who's done a bunch of stuff for Dark Horse, has a book called "Only the Savage Are Left." Did you make a sign for this one, Dave? I don't think I did.
I don't think so, but I'm also not done making signs
This seems to be a post-apocalyptic thing. I did not get a chance to read it. It's got nice art, but it looks like a post-apocalyptic thing.
Okay.
Dark Horse has a thing called The Ring, The Man Who Beat the Man, by Gail Simone. Dave, you had some insight into this one, right?
Right. So The Ring, I believe, is some official boxing magazine. I don't know if it's the biggest one or if it's or it's a lesser known one. But they in conjunction, I guess, with Dark Horse and Gail Simone, are doing this special that I think is meant to throw some insight into the world of boxing.
Okay.
It looks like I think there's historical stuff in here. There's a story set in the present that's I think a fiction story, but I think it's meant to have a lot of sort of lore and energy from the history of boxing.
Okay.
So just kind of an interesting thing. Gail takes some interesting assignments sometimes.
Yeah. There is a book from Invader Comics, which is a smaller press, called The Devil in the Herd, a Western horror comic. This uses the prestige format, which we don't see a lot. Has some nice art.
Yep.
And seems to be sort of a cowpoke running into maybe a devil on a horse, essentially. Or maybe even the devil.
Broadly speaking, Western horror is an underserved genre, but there is... It's you can find it without looking too hard.
Yeah.
Cullen Bunn, Ain't No Grave from
Jonah Hex by Joe Lansdale.
Yep. So it's out there, and I am pleased. To some degree, I guess I don't want it to become more popular than that. I think the slow simmer is just the right speed.
You don't want a Western horror cinematic universe?
No.
Which features the Lone Ranger as a ghost hunter.
For approximately 2 years, I would like it. Then I want it to go away.
Lone Ranger's a ghost hunter. Who else a Western character? The Man with No Name is a vampire.
Listen, back in the 90s, Joe Lansdale did do the Lone Ranger comic.
He did.
There was probably some supernatural shit
There
in
was.
that, too.
I had that. It was good.
Yeah, I had it too.
Yeah.
I just haven't read it in a while.
Yeah.
Joe Lansdale and Tim Truman were a notable team.
Yeah, I've got all their stuff. It was great together. Yeah. And someone's a werewolf. I don't know. Maybe John Wayne's character's a werewolf. Anyway, we got some second printings.
What's the name of that werewolf? That supernatural horror thing comic though?
It is called The Devil in the Herd.
The Devil in the Herd. Okay, got it.
It's a really nice red and black and green cover.
Yeah, it's nice. It's kind of the equivalent of like Prestige format or whatever, right? Yeah.
We got a bunch of new printings. Absolute Batman Ark-M Special gets its third printing. We sold that twice. Ark-M.
Yeah.
Bizarro Year None, the Kevin Smith's Bizarro Origin gets a new printing.
Yep.
Two different covers.
I like that weirdo comic.
G.I. Joe number 13, the start of the Dreadnought War.
Yes.
Which we have the rest of it. We didn't have the first issue. So now if you want to catch up on the Dreadnought War, we do have the first issue of that.
Incredibly fun issue. At the core of it, Duke and Cobra Commander literally handcuffed together like an old 70s sitcom show and forced to survive the Dreadnoughts hunting them. It was so much cooler than that sounds like it could be. Like it was a great time.
And then we've got If Destruction Be Our Lot, number 1, second printing. This is the weird robot, lonely robot thing that Matthew Rosenberg did.
Yep.
Mad About DC, number 1, second printing, which includes a foil variant. This was a huge surprise we loved.
Yeah, that's Chip Zdarsky's
really fun,
very insider DC things, like tons of like jokes you wouldn't think they'd be making because they're so crazy. And he got in like an incredible list of artists to work with him. If you like DC, if you like laughing with some DC, you got to get it, because it is kind of like. I know that like sometimes people might look at like older Mad Magazine stuff and be like, it was funny for its time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Chip Zdarsky is of the now, and like he's taken that and running with it in a very modern voice.
And then Superman number 36, second printing. This is the first issue of Superboy Prime taking over as Superman.
It's wild to me that has been as great. I'm going to even say great as it has been.
They finally won me over. I hate Superboy Prime.
Yeah. But I think part of it is that they're not just kind of like edging up against their redemption story. They're actually doing it, and they're doing it in a way that sort of feels organic, not where it's like, even though I wouldn't mind if they just said, Jeff Johns' story where he turned him into a killer sucked, and we're just going to ignore it. I would have been fine with that too.
Yeah.
But instead they're telling a story that where he is having to work and struggle and go through it, have interesting adventures, while at the same time having some of the most fascinating and funny meta commentary I've ever seen in a comic. It's really good, and this is the issue that got it going. And
there's in addition to the A cover, there are two new or new-ish other covers,
variants. Okay,
cool variants. Yeah. Also, some good stuff in the trades. Batman Volume 1 Daylight. This is the first 6 issues of Fraction and Jorge Jimenez's Batman, which we've been liking. That is my favorite comic right now.
Right. I would be hard-pressed to think of another book that has been more consistently great, from the big two right now.
And it is, it's in trade and hardcover simultaneously.
Yes.
And that worth mentioning that there is a new issue of that this week, Batman number 10.
Oh, man. It's
so good.
This issue kind of thematically, I don't want to say what's kind of notable about it because it's fun to discover.
Right.
But last issue was kind of like the Empire Strikes Back of issues, because it's where Vandal Savage and his team clamped down hard on Batman's like safe houses.
Yep.
And they were like just closing up right and left. Barbara Gordon gets captured and taken to jail. A lot of the other people got put to the test and like almost taken down.
Yep.
And this issue, at the very least, shows that Batman's got some tricks up his sleeve.
Batman's Return of the Jedi.
It's his Return of the Jedi, and it was fucking cool.
There's a new issue of Moon Knight this week, which I've been really enjoying.
Yep, you were telling me about some of what's going on in that. It actually sounds pretty cool.
There's an issue of Iron Man that is an Iron Man, Spider-Man, Norman Osborn three-way. Not that kind of three-way. But Dave, I know you and I have both been enjoying Norman in Spider-Versity.
Yeah, he's good in this too.
And he's good in this too. This is really fun.
I like the character who shows up a little ways into it.
Yep. And it seems like the Iron Patriot armor has been stolen. Tony thinks that Norman did it, and there's some twists and turns.
Spider-Man is kind of trying to... he finds himself in the awkward position, which he knows is an awkward position, of brokering peace between his longtime buddy, Iron Man, who he knows is also kind of hot-headed and risk-taking, and Norman Osborn, his one-time ultimate enemy, but who is reformed right at the moment. And there is he's like, okay, one of these guys is wrong. Who reactivated the Iron Patriot suit? What's going on?
Yep.
And watching the three of them bounce off each other is a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. This is one you don't have to have been reading Iron Man. This is a good self-contained Iron Man story.
That's true.
Similarly, Fantastic Four continues to do that kind of thing as well. They just finished a big arc where they were dealing with an evil Sue Storm with super like mega powers.
Yep.
And now they're dealing with it's a one-shot. It is Reed and Johnny, just the two of them, dealing with aliens. This is on the second page, I feel like I can give away the premise.
Okay.
Aliens show up in Gaul in 114 CE to basically destroy the Roman Empire.
Gaul is France.
Yeah, Gaul is France, but it's the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
But the aliens basically have time traveled. They're going to destroy the Roman Empire so that humanity is conquered in the future.
Okay.
And Reed and Human Torch wind up time travel back to try and stop them without using technology. They have to pretend to be Gauls.
Oh, yeah.
Reed stretches his face and his hair to make him look like a Gaul, so he's got long hair and a mustache.
Yep.
So you guys who love Johnny Storm's mustache, you'll really love this issue.
Hey, listen, this is done with a purpose.
And it is very much the Doctor Who kind of like, they're using science and problem solving, and they're having some fun, even though the stakes are real and they're high. It's a fun sort of time travel adventure.
Did you say they're high?
They're high.
The stakes are high.
The stakes are high.
The characters are not high.
The characters are not high.
If Reed turned out to be that guy, I would be like, this might be slightly misguided.
He's like, so I expanded my lungs and my stretching powers, and I got real high.
I expanded my mind,
Expanded my mind. Anyway, I continue to love Ryan North's Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think that approach, that kind of Doctor Who energy where you've got sort of an science adventure zeal kind of thing is a good vibe for the FF.
Yeah, it's a really fun. I know this is heresy. This is my favorite run on Fantastic Four. It tops the Wade run. It tops the Byrne run. Yeah, no, you love the Byrne run though.
All right, well, you got your way to say it tops it. All right, that's a little much. If you say it's your favorite,
for me, I'll
allow it.
I have read every issue of John Byrne's.
Right.
I have read every issue of Mark Waid's.
Yep.
For me, Ryan North is better.
You were waiting for the stash on Johnny.
I was waiting for Johnny to have stash.
Yeah.
It feels like an eternity I've been waiting for Johnny to have stash. So, happy stash, Johnny.
I'm waiting for the what if in which he doesn't have one.
Oh, what if Johnny didn't grow a mustache? We've got the final issue of Godzilla Infinity Roar, which is Jerry Dugan has been doing some very fun Null plus Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe.
Galactic terror type stuff, right?
In this ish, Doctor Doom and young Cable. Doctor Doom is putting together a team to go back in time before Null took over Godzilla.
Okay.
And it's a fun team.
Sounds fun.
And
there's young Cable? There's young Sheldon?
The only thing I will say is, unfortunately, while he's building together his team, this ends on a cliffhanger. It is the 5th issue.
Oh.
And then it goes into Godzilla Conquers the Multiverse. And that's not playing fair with your readers.
Oh.
You should give an ending to your books.
Yeah.
Like the previous one had an ending, even though it did spin off into Null. This is much more directly there's not an ending here. We're going to finish the story the next. And I'm like, that's not really playing fair. That said, it is a good cliffhanger, and I will absolutely come back for the rest.
I guess they've been, I think, sort of doing pretty good. You know how they did like 3 or 4 Predator miniseries before they did Predator Kills the Marvel Universe?
Yeah.
And each one of those built on each other book could be read as a standalone. They were
self-contained, yeah.
But they've been being good, Randy. You have to give them one occasional big cliffhanger to a new miniseries as a treat.
Look, I still love the Spider-Verse movie, even though there is no ending to the Spider-Verse movie they put out, and it's going to take them multiple years to get there. So I can understand sometimes you do a cliffhanger, and you can still be great.
They can push back the Spider-Verse a whole nother year at any given time.
No, what are you doing?
Yeah, I dare them to.
No! She-Spawn number 2. I am really enjoying Gail Simone's She-Spawn.
I flipped through this even though I had not seen the first issue, and it did look pretty good.
Yep. There's some
her doing a protection, trying to protect, I guess, the young Al Simmons was very interesting.
Yeah, and whether or not he is like, who's she working for? Is she actually working for the bad guys and doesn't know it? Like, it's interesting. DC Sonic sequel, Metal Legion, continues to be fun. This issue is a lot of Lex and Dr. Eggman both thinking they're getting over on one another, but it turns out Catwoman and whoever the evil Sonic Catwoman is, who is this girl?
I don't know them enough to do it.
It's Rouge is her name.
Okay,
but she's dressed up like Catwoman, and she and Catwoman are playing Eggman and Lex against each other.
Love that.
So it's super fun. I don't know that much about Sonic, but they did a good job making it all very clear. Lots of fun. And then Absolute Green Lantern has a new issue this week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
There's always an absolute, or almost always. Dave, did I miss anything?
Let's see.
I'm just talking about Royals, my favorite book, Royals.
Yes.
Because we don't have a lot of them.
But you told me had a sort of dark turn.
It does. This is a heist with telepathic twins, and it takes a sort of a darker turn this issue.
But you're still enjoying it?
I'm still enjoying it.
Let's see. That Comics magazine has a new issue this week. You know, the one that's like Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
There's a new It's Jeff special, if we didn't mention that.
It's Jeff, yeah.
I think these are reprinting some things that have been elsewhere.
I think everything they do for Jeff is digital first.
Right. But anyway, if you're feeling the need for Jeff, who is now, of course, a regular presence in our store with his delightful plush edition, then we got Jeff for you this week. There's the next issue of the the Rogue One? Is it the 10th anniversary? I guess.
Yes.
So they're doing this 10th anniversary miniseries. Each one spotlighting a different character. First one was Cassian Andor, of course. Then we've got Jyn Erso here. Later they're going to do Saw Gerrera, Darth Vader, and somebody. Oh, the two dudes, the buddies.
Oh yeah, Chewie and Darth Vader.
They let's call them roommates.
Sure, the roommates.
The blind and big gun roommates.
Yes.
Yep. And the last thing I want to mention was Cyclops. The Cyclops miniseries ended on a strong note.
Okay, good.
They ended well. Cyclops kicks much ass in this, and I felt like between Jed McKay's take on him in X-Men and the very good work done in X-Men '97.
Yep.
That and now this, I feel like Cyclops has been rehabilitated.
He has. Finally.
Somebody is going to have to overtly screw him up,
and they probably will.
And they probably will. So let's enjoy this little Scott Summers utopia while we've got it.
It's the Cyclops. It's the summer of Cyclops.
Summer of Cyclops. It has begun.
The Cyclops evolution,
right? And we're presumably the next big thing in it will be, in fact, the second season of X-Men '97.
The Cyclops Pneumanium. Something like that.
Yes.
Dave, by the way, I don't know how we couldn't remember these names. Their names are Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus.
Yes.
So catchy, so memorable.
Used once in the movie.
Yeah. Man, that's one of my gripes with Rogue One, and I got some gripes.
Yeah.
But one of them was, when I first saw it, I could not have named any of the characters. Even Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor, I finally know them now, but the movie did no good job of introducing them.
Yep. And by the way, Andor is like my number one favorite show of all time.
Love Andor.
But even on that show, sometimes if I wasn't like talking about it so much with people, I wouldn't remember half the names of those characters.
I also didn't always remember the names of the characters.
Yeah. Even now, let's see who's the guy who's really running things.
That is
Stellan Skarsgård's guy. Lucian.
Sure, Lucian. That's right. Luthen.
Luthen Rawl. Okay, so I've got that one down.
Yeah.
But yes, this is not a good one for remembering who's who.
Mon Mothma. Remember Mon Mothma?
I remember the Mothma.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Mon Mothma.
And by the way, just like no need to hype up Andor. It's already been hyped as well as it should be. But man, like that, the lady playing Mon Mothma. Could you imagine going from playing like her, was she the one who played her in Return of the Jedi, or was she a more recent?
No. So she would have been much older. Much older, yes.
But like she had just been doing like little odds and ends on the cartoons.
Yep.
And like those are good cartoons. I'm not knocking them.
Yep.
Clone Wars, Rebels, and stuff like that.
Yep.
But like the level of writing jump from that to Rebel or to Andor, just through the roof,
100%,
and all that stuff. The writing that they gave to again, who's the guy who plays Cassian? That guy. But man, like these guys got, and of course
Diego Luna,
and then for Stellan Skarsgård. A lot of times when you step into these things, like people are always like, sometimes they'll talk trash about Marvel movies, and I don't think it's fair, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I understand the writing is not like, it's not like it's theater, right? This one was one that was like theater, like the best of theater. So.
Yep.
Damn great show.
As long as your theater doesn't require you to know people's names.
Go catch it if you haven't.
But yes.
And then you've got like these one-shot tie-ins if you're just a big fan of Rogue One and Andor, want to revisit these characters, see a few lost adventures. I guess this is not the further adventures of Jyn Erso.
Kind of would be hard to. Maybe
it would be hard to.
No, unless she teams up with Deadman.
There's Force Ghosts.
Yeah.
There's Force Ghosts.
There's Force Ghosts. She didn't know the Force, though.
She didn't know the Force. It's going to be harder.
Few more trades to mention. We got Death on the Lanai, which is not a comic. This is a novel. It is a Golden Girls mystery.
Oh, interesting.
So if you want to read the Golden Girls in a cozy fantasy, in a cozy mystery,
yeah, you can get their like wisecracking attitudes and all that stuff.
Yep.
I like it.
G.I. Joe Deluxe Book Edition Book 1. This is it's actually the third hardcover, but it is the first book of G.I. Joe itself, not the miniseries.
So like they had like Duke and Scarlet and stuff like that.
They did Duke, Scarlet, Cobra Commander, Destro. Yep. This is the first 12 issues of the G.I. Joe series, which has been great.
Yes. Josh Williamson and an artist whose name I'm going to forget. They've had a couple artists now, but like really good art.
And this nice oversized hardcover. There are two covers. There's the one with Duke, and there's the one with Baroness.
Yep.
Which is the Deluxe.
And I think the highest praise that we could give it is to say that we came at this from sort of the skeptical fandom of
we love G.I. Joe from the old days.
G.I. Joe from the 80s, the Larry Hama stuff specifically, not even like the sort of campy cartoon.
Yep.
And so we were going to always be kind of holding it to a very high standard. And it doesn't try to recreate Larry Hama.
No, it's doing its own thing.
It's almost like if the cartoon had been cool.
Yeah.
Cooler. Not no knock if you're a fan, but it like basically it's cooler than the cartoon, but it has some of that same energy.
Yep.
They freaking made Crystal Ball. Crystal Ball recently was in a cool issue. Yeah. Yep. Very fun.
We got little golden books for I Am Maui and I Am Moana.
Okay.
We have Lore Olympus Volume 10, the webtoon hit.
Yep.
Saga Volume 4 hardcover.
That's like the anchor to all webtoons, right?
I think it is.
I feel like.
What do I know about webtoon, Dave?
We don't know anything about it, but it's the only one that's got 10 volumes. Yeah. I'll tell you that.
Saga gets a Volume 4 hardcover. This is 3 more trades, I believe.
Okay.
This is after the break they took, where we thought they might never come back.
Right.
They came back, and there's more, and it's a nice big hardcover.
Nice.
Spider-Man Brand New Day is a $10 edition, kind of the Marvel's compact editions.
Yep.
Which is going to be a collection of various Spider-Man stories from that era, right after he sold his marriage to the devil.
Right.
But this stuff is better than that.
Right. There's basically that was a horrible catalyst.
Yeah.
I think almost everybody would agree,
yep.
except for Joe Quesada himself.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Maybe even he's turned around. I don't know.
No, he hasn't.
But that was a sucky thing. But the Spider-Man stories and the creators that worked on it afterwards, especially like Dan Slott, really
Slott,
came
Mark
into
Waid.
his own. Is it Mark Guggenheim?
Mark Guggenheim might have been. I don't know who else.
But anyway, this is gonna like collect some of the, I think, sort of favorite stories from there.
And it's got good art. Like Marcos Martin was one of the guys. They have some really good art on this. Marcos Martin is doing new covers for this, and they're going to do more of these kind of books.
Nice.
Again, $10 trade. Can't go wrong.
Yep.
Also $10 trade this week. Superman Red Sun. This is the What If Superman Landed in Russia instead of the United States.
Yep. This has always been a strong seller, and now it emerges in the DC compact size. I think people are going to buy 8 million of these.
Oh, okay. There's also the Visions Marvel Premiere Edition. This is their previous compact edition. They are $15 or $16 instead of $10, but still a good deal.
Yep.
And this is Tom King's first thing he did with whoever his regular contributor is, what he worked on other stuff with.
Yes. What's the book?
The Visions.
Right. So this is about the Vision and his family.
This is where he builds Vision.
Right. He's not with Wanda in this.
He has a Vision wife.
Yeah, what's her name?
Vivian? I don't know.
Okay.
I've read it. I can't remember what it is. Something with a V.
Okay.
Victoria.
But
Villanueva.
It is his, I think, kind of like sort of dark take on sort of Robot Suburbia.
Robot Suburbia, yeah. Really nice art. God, I wish I could remember the name of the artist. I guess I could look it up if I had the internet, which I do.
Is it the same artist as the artist who did like Mr. Miracle?
It is. It's that guy. This is the first time they worked together.
They are really good.
It is. Remember that. Well, it says a lot about the writers. I'm looking for this credit. I know it's Tom King. I understand it's Tom King.
We're trying to.
Gabriel Hernandez Walta.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're trying to help Gabriel Hernandez Walta out, and they're making it hard for us.
Yeah, they are.
Tom King is like, look at my shining star, fools.
Yes.
Probably said that.
Probably.
Anyway, so that's out in the Marvel $15 trades.
Yep.
For folks who are looking for sort of like a somewhat more ambitious kind of superhero story.
Yeah. Spider-Man Noir, Gwen Stacy affair. This is the Eric Larson most recently written Spider-Man Noir
right.
tie-in with the Spider Noir show, which David and I might talk about.
Not like a literal tie-in, like it's not like the same continuity as the show, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Just kind of like, hey, people are going to be hungry for some Spider-Man Noir. Let's do it.
Yeah, because I don't think it is. I think it's its own thing.
If it is, I need the lead character to be drawn exactly looking like Nicolas Cage, crazy eyes all the time.
Supergirl The World. This is international artists doing Supergirl stories. They've done this previously with Batman, Superman, and the Joker.
Right. You're going to see basically like the best of the cream of the crop international artists rendering your favorite characters.
And then
Supergirl here.
And then new editions of cartoonist Kay O'Neill's T-Dragon, Festival, Society, and Tapestry. So that's their story. And that's, I think, all we got for comics.
I think so.
Let's take a break. We're talking about some trailers and some news, and we'll come back and talk about some topics. All right, just one quick trailer to talk about and a couple bits of news, and then we will jump over to talking about Mandalorian and Grogu that we both saw.
Yes.
And so, X-Men 97. Last week we watched a bootleg trailer because we were all jonesing for X-Men 97.
Right. No regrets.
No regrets. It was a different trailer.
Honestly, both the trailers are edited tightly enough with a lot of quick cuts once they get going that although there's some very neat moments, I still feel like I don't know really what's going on.
Agreed.
And what the connection is between the past and the future. So I'm not going to rewatch these much, even though a lot of stuff happened there, and I was like, was that?
Yep.
Was this that person?
Yeah, it's
there's
cool
a lot
looking,
of that, but I don't want to I don't actually need to know. I'm excited. It looks good.
What's funny, Dave, is I think you and I both, neither one of us were X-Men 90s fans in particular.
No.
And so when X-Men 97 came out, we were both like, that's fine for people who were going to like it. And then it turned out to be exactly what we wanted.
Do you remember, I had, in advance of it, I was starting to get on board.
I did not.
There was a thing, before it hit, I was like, I felt like there was something in one of the trailers that I saw that I'm like, I feel like there's some depth that's indicated in this that I think is maybe this could be better than we think it's going to be. Better than just average.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know it was going to be as good as it was.
Yep.
But I was thinking... it was one of those I didn't dare to believe because I'd been looking for an X-Men thing and it had been hard to find something in the comics. Krakoa was going on or tapering off, and I was like, I just kind of want some classic X-Men, not something that's trying to be, you know how like in the horror movie circles, some people don't like what they would call elevated horror.
Yeah.
They find it pretentious, the A24, Hereditary, all that stuff.
Sure.
And I like those things, but I do get how some of it's a little pretentious. And I was sort of finding the Krakoa era all seemed a little pretentious to me, even though I liked some of its ideas. And I was like, man, I just want the X-Men having some like great stories, kicking some ass. I don't necessarily need it to be pushing too hard ambitiously. I don't want Jonathan Hickman stuff. And X-Men 97 delivered, like, exactly what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Even though it was using characters and stuff sometimes from the 90s, which was not I was an 80s kid.
Yep, same.
And so, but there is a fair amount of crossover, and they always worked in, even in the old show, a mixture of 90s elements and 80s grounding. So, anyway, it delivered what I wanted even better than I could have asked for. So here we are coming up on Season 2.
Yep.
And we know that, like...
We ended Season 1 with the X-Men lost in time.
Yes.
Half the team is in the past, half the team is in the future, which they recap in the trailer as Bishop's talking about it.
Yep.
That half of them are at the beginning of Apocalypse's reign.
Yep.
And the others are at the end of it, which I love the idea of, like, that basically over 3,000 years of history, it's all basically Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That makes him a much more dangerous and scary bad guy.
They did this thing where they... I forget what it was visually, but it'd be like if they were like showing like a Sphinx or something like with his head or something on it, and then they kind of faded into the future and they're like, and this is the the culmination
the height of his reign.
Yeah. And they showed it and it had now been transformed and looked like all high tech and stuff.
Yep.
But you're like, oh, this is his grand vision. That is the time scale he thinks on. This is like weirdly kind of like Dune, Paul Atreides and his prescience and all that
Meanwhile,
stuff.
Jubilee and Sunspot seem to be in the present.
Yep.
Along with Forge and Bishop, who I think are going to be trying to find the X-Men.
Yep.
But what's going on, and again, from the comics... I
definitely saw what looks like is going to be some cool-ass scene where Jubilee and Sunspot are going to get spotlighted.
Yep. They're doing X-Factor, they're doing X-Force, they're doing their versions of those.
Yep.
We saw Danger, the sentient Danger Room, who...
Yep.
I didn't like that character, but I've kind of come around as it's a cool visual.
It's a cool visual, and like these guys are probably going to take what's
version of it.
Coolest about her. I joked, only sort of half joking, that like the main thing I remember of the Danger Room from the last from X-Men 97 Season 1 was that Rogue and Magneto were sneaking off to boink in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that are they going to use that somehow as the trigger for the creation of Danger, the sentient character?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But we also see Exodus, the character who had such a cool visual, and they never really gave him a decent story in the comics. Right. He was another 90s villain. Mm-hmm. They're going to use him. There's a cool moment with Cyclops and Jean where she forms like psychic claws to filter his blast through. Yeah. Which they did a lot of cool story, like the Nightcrawler with the 3 blades, that kind of stuff. There was a lot of cool stuff in the first season.
There was also, was it a Gambit charging up Wolverine's claws? Yep. I mean, that was one of the things we see Morph briefly changing into Deadpool. Right. So one of the clever things they did in the show was they have Morph, so they can do the cast of thousands, and you can see them because he just transforms into them, but they're not actually there. Hulk's there for a few seconds, that kind of thing.
Which is very clever. It's a good use of the character.
Let's see. That was it. X Factor. Does that include like Havoc and Polaris?
It's Havoc and Polaris and Strong Guy. Yeah.
And so those characters have not really appeared on the X-Men.
I think they were in a background. I haven't seen the whole of the original series, so I can't speak to that.
But it looks like they're going to probably... All of them are probably going to get moments, and it'll be interesting to see what interpretation they want to give them.
And they did a lot in this trailer with...
Because I like those characters, but they also, sometimes in the comics, they're a little nebulous personality-wise.
Sure. They'll give them more focus here, probably, sure. I also like that they open with Rogue talking about losing Gambit.
Right. I think it was kind of important to this first big trailer She's like, I keep on thinking, she's like, what I'm not coming home to. And I was like, and then, but then what's kind of cool in the trailer is much of the narration after she says that is Gambit himself narrating it.
No.
Yeah.
What? Gambit's not narrating?
He narrated some of it.
Did he?
Yes, he starts narrating right after Rogue stops.
I thought that was Bishop.
He's like, I could have sworn it was him, but I thought he was like some of the X-Men are trapped in the past, some in the future.
I don't know. I think that's Gambit. I don't think that's Gambit.
You don't
Gambit's
think so?
Dead.
I know, but he's gonna come back.
I hope.
But
not.
Also, sometimes they'll do like a voiceover from a character who's been lost, just because it's interesting and dramatic.
I guess I didn't think that was Gambit. I thought that was either Forge or Bishop.
We're gonna after this show is over, we're gonna pause it and go back and check.
Yep.
I don't know if it was him throughout the thing or if they just did something. But you remember that, how the opening of Babylon 5? How they would have different people narrate it, and then in the final season or maybe the 4th season, it was narrated by multiple characters. I think it was maybe like that.
I was looking to see if there was any quick Google answer, and there's no quick Google answer.
Okay.
So.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
We can just assume Dave's wrong.
All right. So we can assume Randy's as right as he's ever been, and if you've listened to the track record.
But I am pleased by the idea of having Rogue and no Gambit, because I don't like Gambit, and I'm happy he's dead.
You know what? Randy, you're going to get us hate mail now.
No, Gambit redeemed himself. I thought he had a really good arc in the first season. I like
Gambit both in the comics and in the show now.
I like Gambit okay, but I don't like Rogue and Gambit together as much as people. I've come around to it a little bit, but I never quite liked it.
Sort of more Rogue is just like she's alone, forever alone.
I prefer Forever Alone.
Yeah. It's a tough one to hold on to.
Dave, I wanted to be with that construction worker she rescued in that issue of X-Men. I think they'd really...
Back in the 80s?
They should have a chance.
Yeah. There was one of Carol Danvers' exes.
Yeah, Mickey something.
Rossi? Commander Rossi or something like that was what his name was.
Yeah.
That when Rogue was having trouble keeping Carol's... keeping her head straight.
Yeah.
I think probably it felt an attraction, but I don't think there ever was anything with him. She just felt Carol's old impulse for him. Anyway, it looks really good. I have to keep in mind, this is, after the stuff that happened with the showrunner on it, and even though he had written much of the second season, he wasn't he wasn't full on a part of it, I think. I have to brace myself for the possibility that the writing will not be as strong as the first season.
We'll see. The trailer gives me hope.
But it's all quick cuts and there's no dialogue.
There's some dialogue.
It's not the kind of extended dialogue where you can tell it's the writing is really good. You know what I noticed that was fun that they did in both the original trailer and this one is having some fun with knowing full on that they are homaging their love of the 90s.
Yeah.
So, the first trailer for X-Men 97 had Cyclops doing the I surrender. Not. It's just ridiculous callback. And here they're doing this Terminator-esque speech. I think that was Bishop talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, we've got to find them. He's like past and present, or past and future, and bring them back to the 90s.
Yeah.
It sounded like those, in the early 2000s, those ads for like music you could like order on like DVD still.
Yes.
So they're like, I love the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s really were a
For
great
sure.
time for music.
Yeah.
It sounded like that, and I love it. They are very aware of it and doing a great job. Hope to see some more. They had some flip phones in the 90s.
Sure.
Yeah, I hope for them to continue to have fun with the era.
2 bits of TV and movie news. That Texas Blood, the book by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, is in development at FX. It's it says a Western neo-noir. I've read bits and pieces of it.
Yep.
But the people who are...
That was kind of a buzz book, 2-3 years ago, whatever it was.
The people developing it worked on Hap and Leonard, which was a really good Joe Lansdale series.
Yep.
So that's the right people.
Sort of southwesty noir kind of energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It says they bill it as Cormac McCarthy meets John Carpenter. I'm like, that's weird. I don't remember there being any overt horror elements in that Texas Blood.
John Carpenter always had like a certain Western flair. He will even say, like, he would say in interviews, he's like, oh, basically The Thing is a Western.
Yeah.
Sometimes I didn't always quite buy it. He's like, oh, basically this movie is a Western. Basically, Prince of Darkness or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, if you said that of Escape from New York, yes.
Yeah.
That is kind of a Western. It's a lone gunman, like that kind of thing. A lone cowboy kind of thing. But some of the others are stretches. But yeah, also, Cormac McCarthy and John Carpenter at their peaks represent some of the best of the best.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a bold statement, but I guess you shoot for the stars when you're pitching it.
Dave, it's funny you mention Escape from New York.
Yes.
Because the other bit of news, Escape from New York has been in development by numerous people.
Like a remake.
And all of them have wisely not done it.
Right.
Now, in this, the worst timeline,
yes.
Zack Snyder is lined up to direct an Escape from New York I can't think of someone I want less to do a John Carpenter remake than Zack Snyder.
What's some bad casting they could do in there?
Well, who does he like? Who's his go-tos?
Bad actors.
Dave,
what was his bad? Who did his bad Star Wars thing? Was that guy from? That was that dude from.
Oh man, I don't know who that guy was.
No, it's the guy from. Oh my God, Sons of Anarchy, right?
Oh, Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, I think. I think he was the dude in it.
I can almost see Charlie Hunnam.
Shit, yeah. Look, Charlie Hunnam is a decent actor.
I like Charlie. Hey, Charlie Hunnam is great in The Gentleman.
Yes, and I really liked him, and I thought he was pretty good in.
And he's solid. He's solid in.
Oh man, that's who it's going to be, isn't it?
It probably.
I was trying to find a bad person from his movies.
Is it Charlie Hunnam?
I think so.
I don't know.
It was an ensemble cast.
It's not Charlie Hunnam. Okay.
Is it not?
Good. It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's Ed Skrein. Oh, hang on a second. I'm looking at the IMDb now. Well, the top billed people, Dave, are Jimon Hansu, Sofia Boutella, Ed Skrein, Michael Huisman.
Okay.
Maybe Michael Huisman was a guy who was in Game of Thrones. He was one of the sort of sleazier Game of Thrones guys.
There were 2 parts to this,
but I don't know who the main guy is. Gunnar. Is that the main guy?
Maybe it was an ensemble because it was another one of those remakes of Seven Samurai.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, Charlie Hunnam is in it as Kai, but he's billed 7th. I don't think he was the lead.
I don't know.
Anyway, no.
This is the unwise choice. Yeah,
I don't want this to happen.
Yep. I grew up on Escape from New York. It was like one of those Bond movies, like The Warriors and stuff, like these movies from right around 1980, 81.
Right.
That were
everyone was worried that New York was going to turn barbaric and ancient.
Right. This and Road Warrior and stuff like this. They all sort of were the sort of dystopias that I was plugged into at the time. Mm-hmm. And and also these are some of the best action movies of their era.
Yep.
They've got some edge to them, But by the way, crime was rampant in New York in the 70s. It was at its kind of worst that it got. It was a dirty, ugly-looking city. The notion that you could say, we're just going to turn it into a prison was an idea you can do in that time.
Yeah.
It's honestly hard to imagine, Mom Donnie's I'm fixing everything. I've got housing, new housing. We're dropping prices and all this. Doesn't feel right.
If Zack Snyder was going to do Escape from Texas...
yeah.
I could see that.
Escape from Florida.
Yes.
Yes. But anyway, yes. It's funny because he does have some of the... John Carpenter is an incredibly cynical filmmaker. He doesn't have a strong view of humanity. It seems clear from all interviews with Zack Snyder, although he seems like a nice enough sort of bro-ish dude, that he's kind of he's an Ayn Randian who kind of like feels like there's the great people and then there's like the little lynchy shits and stuff like that. But like, that is not who John Carpenter was. He is always stands so hard with the little dude. You look at like They Live. It's about people who are like these struggling blue collar people who are on the cusp of poverty and homelessness. And they're like, those are the guys who uncover the evil alien capitalists. Like, that is not a story that I feel like what's his name, Snyder can tell with integrity. And aside from that, I feel like, that was I had never seen until I saw Escape from New York a Mac-10, those submachine guns that look so cool when you drop a silencer on them and stuff. Snake Plissken looks beyond cool with it, but I'm like, he's going to have those like shell casings tumbling out in slow motion. I just know it. and like make everything lamer.
I just don't want it to happen. I don't think it'll happen.
Also, by the way, even if people who didn't kind of imprint on the movie like I did, so even if you're not that into it, I think you'd have to agree it's like sort of a perfect slice of an era.
Yeah, you don't want to do a new version.
You don't want to do a new version of that.
It'd be like doing a new Running Man, which by the way sucked. We thought that might. Edgar Wright did that. We thought maybe that there's a lesson in this.
Yeah.
If someone made a perfectly serviceable sci-fi movie for its time, don't remake that one.
Right.
If they messed it up, sure.
Yep.
Like making a new Dune made sense because that Dune was not the perfect Dune it ever made.
Even Lynch is like he looks physically pained when he would look physically pained when people would ask him about it. He's like. He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it didn't turn out. Like,
it'd be fun to talk about one day. Like, we don't really go do this on this podcast, but like to go ahead and try and find some of those things that had the possibility but should be remade. Yeah. Like, just as a random example, the Street Fighter movie, the original one, while campy and kind of watchably campy, is a shit movie.
That's a target for a remake.
Yeah. And it looks like it's probably going to get...
For that matter, Mortal Kombat, that we all liked as enjoyable as sort of a camp movie.
I think it's pretty good as is, but it is true, like, it wasn't quite a full representative of the game.
There's a better version of it out there. They haven't made it yet, because they made two of them, and they're not great from what I hear.
Right.
But there is... You could do that. Yeah. But like The Rocketeer.
Yep.
The Rocketeer is perfect for time. Do not touch The Rocketeer. Go back.
Oh, you know what's another good one? Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
They did remake it, and the remake was good.
They messed up the original because it was Sly Stallone's vanity vehicle.
I gotta show my feet.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want a modern take on Demolition Man.
Right.
Demolition Man is perfect for what it is.
A perfect little slice of an era. That would be a case of do your own Demolition Man, which is to say a satirical near future.
Yeah.
You can do that with the present.
Inspired by, sure.
Right. Anyway... but it would be kind of fun to sort of delve around and see what movies we could find that we think are good fodder for this. Something that's like if you had a 5-star rating scale, something that came out at 2 or 2.5.
Yeah.
And but you're like, man, it just is like almost.
It's almost there.
Almost.
Dave, should they remake Krull?
No.
I agree with you.
No, I think Krull is very much like Demolition Man. It is one of these that's like. Just like incredibly entertaining, while at the same time not being a great movie.
Yeah.
But like I don't think. Here's the thing: is like Krull is like better than it should have been.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually have the underpinnings of greatness. It's because James Horner did the score.
Yeah.
It's because like Liam Neeson and some other good English actors were the character actors. It's because the guy who directed it was like the guy who made, I forget what it was, like Marathon Man, and like it was like he was like a known director. He was like, I'm going to do a something that's an homage to my childhood favorites.
Yeah.
But basically, it actually doesn't have a great premise, other than there's like kind of fantasy warriors who fight some space bad guys.
Can I pitch you though?
Okay.
What about Krull? Oops, all Cyclops.
Listen. Rel, the Cyclops, was the noblest of them all, Randy. And,
he showed great courage.
He showed great courage. We're keeping it in the John Carpenter circle.
All right. Let's talk about Mandalorian and Grogu. Spoiler warning.
Yes.
Not there's a lot to spoil, but there might be some spoilers. Dave and I went and saw it separately, not together.
Yep.
And we don't know. We haven't talked about it. This is our first time.
Right, but I think we were on similar pages.
Yes. So if you're going to see Mandalorian and Grogu and you don't want to be spoiled, you should stop now and come back next week. Yojo, all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Spoilers.
Yes.
Dave, I think you're both solid 3 out of 5.
Yes, I think so.
A solid but forgettable movie is what I would call it.
Right.
I like Solo better.
I think I did too. I think it was actually a little bit more ambitious. But like these are, this did the job that I sometimes get from the Star Wars live action shows. of like I like inhabiting that world. I like visiting with those characters. Yeah. And this is you're going to see sort of in some ways the greatest hits of the show.
Yeah.
You're going to see Grogu being cute. Mando telling him not to do something, and he does it anyway.
Mando being a badass.
Mando being like, he's almost too badass at the start thing.
I loved that opening.
Like he was like John Wick, but like taking out Imperial walkers.
You know what I loved about that though?
Yeah.
The premise of this movie starts with this is post Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah,
the Empire's fallen. I know what you're gonna say. And he's going after these Imperial warlords, scumbags who are basically they've
hung onto their power in some way.
They're terrorizing people. They've got their lick spittles all around them, are doing whatever they want.
Right, they're still wearing the old Empire things. They've got stormtroopers with battered armor.
And all they're trying to do is bring the Empire back. They want to bring the fascism back. And instead, Mando shows up and wrecks shit.
They get a gun to the face.
Yeah. That was very satisfying.
I get that. I was just like, he was a little too John Wick unstoppable for me.
Dave, do you think in Inglourious Bastards that there was too much Nazi killing?
Listen.
Come on.
The writing was different on that. There was better writing.
I love watching Mandalorian cut through stormtroopers and the Imperials.
And he does do he takes out all of the different bad guys and foes in neat ways.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like pew, 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 pew.
No.
The stuff he does with the Imperial Walkers is very different on all of these.
The action sequences of the opening were very clever.
They're very clever. And then we do get to the plot. He is working for the New Republic.
Yep.
And his main liaison is Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yep, Colonel Ward. Yep. But also, his main, pilot and cohort is Zeb Aurelius from Rebels.
Right.
Now, you haven't watched as much Rebels as I have.
No. I know of Zeb. I think it's kind of fun, but he also doesn't mean anything.
For me, having Zeb there as, his buddy, and the two of them have developed a relationship, that was a big part. If the rest of the movie had been like the beginning of the movie, this would have been a 4-star movie easily for me.
Yeah.
All I wanted was him to go planet system to system, killing off Imperial warlords. I would have watched a trilogy of that movie.
Well, you know how just like the show and so many Star Wars things like Clone Wars and stuff like that is a bunch of different classic adventure or action genres filtered through the Star Wars lens.
Yes.
They're like, we're going to move on to some different genres.
Yes, they did.
And so there's the kind of creature feature thing because they do get essentially an arena battle.
Yep, they did.
And it plays out quite differently from the ones in the Clone Wars movie, but it's vibing in that same ballpark.
You can definitely tell that Dave Filoni's involved here.
Right.
Because the creatures and all that stuff. By the way, I'm not positive about this, but I believe those creatures, if not all of them, a lot of them in that arena, are from the chess game.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
The chess game,
the holographic.
Because I think there's one the big guy with the arms.
Yeah,
I'm almost sure that's the guy that Chewie uses to pick up a piece and smash.
Interesting.
I'm almost sure that's
it'd be
a
like
reference.
the chess game would be based on these
those real monsters.
That's kind of fun.
I'm almost sure about that.
As far as the plot that kicks it off, there is 2 Hutts, and is it the New Republic wants them information from them or an alliance with them?
The New Republic, basically, because Mando kills the warlord that he's trying to bring in, wants them to kill him. They're like, we need you to bring one of these guys in alive because we need to interrogate them and find out where the other warlords are.
Right.
And one of the big warlords is going to have a lot of the information. They're like, oh no, these 2 Hutts who are Jabba's brother and sister, I think.
Yeah, or something like that.
I believe they are.
Oh, yeah,
I think they're brother and sister. These 2 Hutts have taken over Jabba's operation, and they say they have information. They just want you to go and rescue Jabba's son, Rada the Hutt.
Right, who would be their nephew. Yeah.
And so he's like, I don't want to work for the Hutts. And he's like, no, you're working for me. And so the rebellion is sort of the Republic is doing sort of we're working with criminals because we have to. We're still a little bit.
I appreciate a little bit of moral grayness.
Yeah.
This ain't Andor, right? They're not going to lean hard into it, but they do acknowledge it.
But he comes to find out that Rada is not kidnapped. He's actually fighting in these pits because he wants to break away from his father.
He wants to get out of his reputation as a scumbag, and he is he's the one you've seen in the trailers who's ripped.
Yep.
Is he in fact the one who was Stinky the Hutt?
He was Stinky
in the
the
old
Hutt.
Clone Wars movie and stuff like that. That was in some of the weaker Star Wars outings.
Yeah.
But yes, he has grown up to be. I guess he would be like if the Hutts had The Rock.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
So it's voiced by Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. But
is that the lead on The Bear?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the bear. Okay. His actually is, well, I mean, that's the name of the restaurant, but also that's his nickname.
Okay.
But he doesn't sound like him. He's really good.
He's one of the more interesting characters in it because he kind of gives this sort of naturalistic performance.
Yeah.
And so when it's almost, to some degree, it almost feels like he's in a different movie sometimes.
Yeah.
Where Mando is like the action-adventure movie, and he's like, don't you want to get out of here? And he's like, he'll kind of talk in this very natural way and say, like, he's like, look, I know, he's like, you think what you think you know who I am. And he's like, a lot of people have these expectations, and he's like, but I'm trying to get out from under them because I just want to find out who I am on my own. Like, he talks about like almost like a real person.
I did not expect Rada the Hutt to have an arc.
No,
but he absolutely does, and he bonds.
In addition to like kicking some ass, he bonds
with Grogu.
He does. He's kind of like, and it's very adorable because he's
when they first meet, and he's like, "Can I feed him?" Like, he's like, he
immediately big brothers him and recognizes. Well, you know, if you want to say that there's an arc and a theme to Mandalorian, it's about sort of foundlings, kids,
for sure,
orphans.
Oh man, I hadn't even put that together, but you're right.
I hadn't either until just now. But anybody who's been kind of neglected or mistreated or doesn't have a parental figure in their life. Yeah. That's kind of, those are some broad themes in the show.
Yeah.
Now I do think like as Mando tries to help him out of his situation and he becomes one of his allies, and so you've got sort of essentially a team of Mando, Grogu, some Babu Fricks.
The Babu Fricks. Dave, I don't know about you. Babu Frick is kind of like in the same as like Baby Ewoks and Jar Jar. It's like one of these things like, man, this is almost too goofy and bad.
Too cringe,
But sometimes it's kind of cute and it kind of works for me.
I agree. It is. I think the Ewok thing is exactly what I would liken it to, where, you know, when they were like... when Princess Leia met Wicket and he got scared and he's like
poking at her,
or whatever. And I was like, this is borderline cringe, but it is also kind of cute.
Kind of cute, yeah. Look, we all like Jeff the Land Shark, and these are the Jeff the Land Sharks in the Star Wars universe.
That's right. By the way, I did notice that because this does kind of follow a certain sort of tropiness to it, it is also kind of a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
I keep on looking in comment sections, and you know, although there's lots of people who are just like, Kathleen Kennedy ruined Star Wars or whatever, and they're just like, and they're like, Star Wars has been dead for 20 years and whatever.
Yeah. Those people can go watch Zack Snyder's Escape from War.
The vast majority of comments I see are people who are like families who are like, oh, I just saw this with my granddad and my son, and we had the best time.
Yeah.
And they're just all having a good time. And I think it's it's good for as that kind of movie. It's unpretentious.
There's a lot of cool action, like Mando throwing down with like the big giant sea snake thing.
Yeah,
that's a good action sequence.
In a lot of ways, he is the classic kind of stoic warrior that audiences like, that conservative audiences like too, liberal audiences like it because anybody likes that archetype. It's a cool thing. I do think that the film ran into a bit of a problem at Slog in its last act, where it's like there's kind of too many bosses and sub-bosses.
I agree. I get what they were trying to do, like having Mando knocked out of commission and Grogu has to like raise him, protect him and get him back to health. I kind of really like that. I was bored. Yeah. When he finds the weird farmer out in the swamp and the farmer happens to have an antidote to the poison and protects him from the weird vampire dog or whatever, I was like, man,
there's a little bit of a sub-theme as well in this series of like, that, even in a kind of rough and tumble galaxy, that there's just sort of decent people, like, you don't have to look too far to find a decent person.
I liked that too.
And, but yes, I agree, that scene is a little sluggish, like it just loses momentum.
Look, I like Grogu, I like the Babu Freak, you got me, I will admit that I think they're cute. I did not need 25 minutes of Babu Freak and Grogu while Mandalorian is taking a nap. That was not cool.
No, but you know what? Somebody pointed out to me that I think, and this is actually a little too cute. They did something at one point. Grogu grabs a little stick to help him around, and it looks just like Yoda's stick.
Yes, I saw that.
But also, I was like, that's a little too nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
But also, like the little sort of mud sort of hut he built around him is kind of like Yoda's hut.
It is.
And I was like, it's a little much.
Yeah.
But
I did like him rescuing Rada with his force powers. He lifts him up.
That's right.
I also liked
seeing sort of the way Rada the Hutt kind of fights.
Yeah.
Where he kind of like he'll sort of log roll around a little bit.
Yeah.
There is a triple Hutt fight.
Yep.
And this, as crazy as that
triple Hutt fight
that they do pretty well. But yeah, like it is a good time. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I want to talk about. Sigourney Weaver is a pretty small part of this,
right?
But as with all things with Sigourney Weaver, she does a great job with this role she has.
Yeah.
Her bit of like telling Mando, she's like, "Look, I'm not going to come rescue you," and then of course she does. That's such a Han Solo Star Wars thing. But having the rebels show up, by the way, they had that guy, their Asian
dude who's been around in the show from the beginning,
and Dave Filoni also flying one of the.
Yep.
He's an X-wing pilot now, and there's somebody else in that bomber group too. But I love them coming in, and then you see we're so used to seeing in Star Wars, like when we first saw the X-wings, they were the underdogs.
Right.
The TIE fighters are better fighters. The X-wings, they just got blown up by. But in this sort of new galaxy where the Empire's gone and these criminals and gangsters are the threats,
it's like the posse.
Yeah. When the X-wings show up, they had like gunning towers and that kind of stuff, but the X-wings are like, yeah, take those out, and it is like, the
these
cavalry
guys are
showed up.
Pretty great fighters at this point.
Yeah. And I liked that. I liked that bit. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a really good finale. I guess I would have liked this to have a little more of that rebel. I wanted him to be like taking out different rebel warlords. I wanted the Hutts to be like one of many stories,
right?
And instead, they're kind of the focus of the story,
right?
And I don't know they were there to carry a whole story.
Well, there was another bad guy, but like I said, as they added bosses and sub bosses, including there was like this dude who can kind of go toe to toe with Mando, and I was like, he's fine, but he was a little bit forgettable.
I honestly wish they would have just used. He
was the guy with the wide brim,
Cad Bane, or one of those guys.
I get that they don't want it to be that small a world. It's already a little bit weird that Zeb and Mando.
I get it, but also
it's a little small.
I would have preferred to have seen someone they've had time to build up what a badass he is.
Sure,
because this guy was like, oh, so there just happens to be another bounty hunter who's a badass. Whatever.
Yeah,
and he wasn't. There was nothing about him that was like Boba Fett was cool instantly in the movies.
Right.
This guy was not cool. He was just like, oh, he has an interesting enough look, but he's a second run.
If they had shown a little bit more of like him, like if he had like a slightly parallel story going on, and we saw like him, take down like a big rebel person or like a New Republic person, and you're like, oh, this guy is dangerous.
I think for me,
it would have been kind of crazy if they had shown like they periodically show the New Republic base, the X-wing base, and stuff like that. If he had been like so badass, like he could get onto the base, cut through their defenses, and like almost gets like Sigourney Weaver or something like that,
or something,
then I would have been like, oh shit, this dude.
Yeah. Instead, he's out in the swamp.
Instead, he's out in the swamp.
Can't even fool a swamp dwelling fisherman.
That's true.
He can't outwit that guy.
No.
I will say part of this for me is my expectations of Dave Filoni, a Jon Favreau movie, because Favreau's rarely failed for me.
Right.
And the Mandalorian show, which I really liked.
Right.
My expectations were pretty high.
Right. The best of the Mandalorian show is better than this movie, easily, I would say.
And that's what I want to say is, like, I understand why I wanted to do it as a movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'd rather they had just done a season 4 of The Mandalorian, and this had been one of the stories.
Too. Yeah. But I think it is one of those, like, kind of like, in the world that we got.
Yep.
Like, if you, keep your expectations chill and you're just like, let's watch an adventure with him that's a little bit of a bigger adventure, has some more, special effects and stuff like that, and enjoy Rada the Hutt and stuff like that, it's a pretty good time. And I think it's a good time for casual folks, too.
Yeah.
Like, I was a little worried. So I saw this with my mom and my sister.
Uh-huh.
Neither of them had seen any of the show. I did convince my sister to the night before to get a week free of Disney Plus and watch like the first episode. So she had seen one episode, but I was like, oh no, this like if they're gonna start talking about like retaking Mandalore, and stuff like that, and anything with like Bo-Katan, or any of that sort of the deeper lore, I was like, this is probably going to go over their heads, and they'll probably still make a decent movie, but it's going to have some stuff that goes over their head. They kept it to like what you see is what you get. You're going to be told everything you need to know.
So that's what I was going to say is that I feel like that's a strength and a weakness.
Right.
It's a strength in that as a standalone movie, this works. Like, you don't have to know anything about these characters. It is all explained. You're like, why does he have a Baby Yoda? You don't really know any of that. It's like, you get everything.
Yep.
But what I didn't think it did well, that the Marvel movies tend to do, is like, it rewards you if you have seen everything.
Right.
And I feel like they went a little too far into making it approachable and could have gone a little more of the fan service, which I know people hate fan service. I get it. I would have liked a little more fan service.
Yeah. The Armorer and stuff like that we've seen would have been cool to see.
I don't know. Maybe that character's dead. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Things got a little hectic at the end. Also, I believe it has now been 3 years since the last Mando episode.
I think that is correct.
I looked it up and it was 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit.
And we probably won't get any more. I think this is probably it for Mando.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, maybe they'll do animation. I don't know.
There's going to be something.
I mean, Grogu's such a character that people love. I can't imagine they're not going to give some kind of...
We're gonna get his awkward teen years where you're like, oh, is that his voice now? And he's like, Din. He's like, oh, I want to hang out tonight. I want to just go out on my own.
No, Dave, it's worse than that. Misa studying with the Gungans.
Oh no,
studying with the Gungans. Misa is.
No, he's gonna become
it's a mix of Jar Jar and Yoda's speech.
He's gonna become a pothead and he's gonna go to Dagobah to raise to grow his weed.
This fresh Dagobah and dank, yo.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, definitely a recommendation. I like I say, it's not 5-star amazing Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think Solo was better. I like this better than Rogue One, which
I did too.
You and I are both.
We'll get in trouble for that.
We're on the outs. We're on the outs with your Rogue One. I know you and I are weird outliers that we're not like Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie ever. It's not.
It's true.
It's one of the worst.
Here comes the hate.
But it did give us Andor, and therefore can be forgiven for being one of the worst Star Wars movies.
Yep. Yeah, it was like if you see like a shitty warm up act for a great band.
Yeah. That's what Rogue One is, a shitty warm up act. You're right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Send your hate mail to nickblood@gmail.com.
We are only really saying what Nick feels.
left us a script. All of this, I know this seems very off the cuff. This entire thing was scripted by Nick.
Yes.
Everything you liked and didn't like, that's
Nick. Also scripted Rod of the Hutt. He's got a certain natural vibe to his dialogue.
Yeah. Well, Nick's always talked about how much he wants to write a Hutts. He's always talking, can we get some Hutt stuff in here this week? And this week, we let Nick take over.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I want a quick mention. I was watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I was rewatching that, which has 17 seasons. It's crazy. And it's still good.
Yeah.
The most recent season, they did a crossover with an ABC sitcom called Abbott Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
And so I saw the Abbott Elementary characters from the point of view
that they did do that.
of the Always Sunny characters.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And now I kind of want to
see what their deal is.
So I went and started watching Abbott Elementary. And I'm about 8 episodes of the first season.
Did this just happen because the creators of both shows were kind of mutual admiration society?
Yeah.
Okay.
The lead actress and creator, Quinta Brunson, I think that she's... So... This is about a school in Philadelphia that is very underfunded, and it's about sort of a young teacher. Quinta Brunson plays this young teacher who's relatively new, and there's a couple older teachers who are a little more jaded.
Yep.
And their principal is kind of a Michael Scott, kind of like a little bit full of herself.
Okay.
In the first episode, she spends all the money they get on a sign promoting herself as the principal of the school.
Okay.
But she's very likable despite being, like Michael Scott, despite being kind of a mess.
Right, sure.
And it is about, teaching and reaching kids and that kind of stuff.
Half hour or hour?
Half hour.
Okay.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but after a few episodes, I'm all in. I really enjoy the characters. It's familiar beats, like... The lead character, she has a boyfriend who it turns out is her boyfriend from middle school. Uh-huh. She's known him all her life. He's a rapper. Mm-hmm. He's one of these he's just like Pam's first boyfriend in the office. He's decent enough guy, but clearly kind of a loser.
Yeah,
They're together because they've been together their whole lives. And the new character is this nice substitute teacher guy who was applying to be a principal, who is slowly becomes more than a substitute teacher, and the two of them have kind of a will they won't they going on. And I know from seeing Always Sunny that they will, because they're boyfriend and girlfriend by the time I get to them at the end of season 4 or 5. There's a bunch of seasons of this.
Uh-huh.
But it reminds me of a Mike Schur show, like your Office, or not The Good Place, not quite that out there, but any of these workplace comedies. Really like the characters. There's some bits that make me laugh in every bit. They get a lot of mileage out of them being sort of an underfunded school. Mm-hmm. They have a janitor who has conspiracy theories, but runs their electrical stuff. He has all these weird kind of like Joe Rogan on news radio, or Kramer. The sort of things that work for him.
Right.
It's a lot of good characters. It's really funny, and it's definitely about sort of how fucked our education system is.
How often are kids in this
There are
show?
kids in it regularly.
Okay.
But they're not characters. I've seen shows where the kids are characters.
Right.
These are mostly a kid. There was one episode where the older teacher transferred a kid into her classroom.
Yeah.
And it turns out that kid was like a troublemaking kid.
Yeah.
And they had to deal. And that kid had an arc, but it wasn't like that's not a regular character.
This is not head of the class.
Not head of the class. It is about the teachers.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you have not watched Abbott Elementary, which by the way, we have a little golden book called A is for Abbott Elementary that came in this week.
That's funny.
So the timing's good. But I would recommend it.
I have one more quick question about it. How much heart is there to it?
Not as much as you. I mean, Mike Schur shows, I would say, like 30% heart, 70% comedy.
Okay, yeah.
This is like 90% comedy, 10% heart.
Okay.
There are cute moments. There's one of the teachers is.
Well, I think it's. I can almost see wanting to avoid it because of the cliche of just like, oh, these teachers are all just such good, perfect people at heart, and they're like, no, we're gonna like dive a little bit into a little bit more real, and we're gonna also be a little just goofier about it.
I will say every episode does have something, but where you like reveal that these teachers actually like each other, or that they actually do care about these kids. And that's the cynicism is kind of how they survive these rough circumstances, and so there is heart there, and it's definitely it's every episode for sure, but there's never been episode like Good Place or Brooklyn Nine-Nine where I get like teared up,
right? Like a real like heart rending.
Yeah, it's closer to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I would say, and to The Office.
Okay.
But I would recommend it. I've been enjoying this as sort of a background
where's
watch.
It streaming?
It is on Hulu because it's an ABC show.
Gotcha.
All right. We're going to talk about Spider Noir next week because Dave's seen an episode. I've watched all of it. Yep. We're pretty sure Nick's going to watch all of it.
I would say, like, if you haven't seen it, like, I feel like people are going to try this out probably no matter what.
Did you watch in true hue color or black and white?
I watched in black and white.
I watched in color.
You freak.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I was always going to watch it in black and white, probably.
I wonder how... I really like the color. It has that colorized, like, it looks like a colorized movie.
Right. Like a little sort of slightly artificial, but like
saturated,
I think in a good way. Yeah.
But I liked it in color.
I'll take a peek and just at least watch the opening scene in there. But I think, like, just the barest hint of what we'll talk about later, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, and it's kind of has, like, a little bit of a wavering energy to it where it's like sometimes it is kind of like following kind of classic noir tropes.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a little goofy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's Nick Cagey.
Yeah.
But it also, like, in that opening sequence, like, you see him web swinging through the city feeling very much like the scenes of Tobey Maguire trying out his powers.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, they're not going to, like, hide the superpower stuff too much. Although
he isn't the Spider, he's retired from it for a reason.
Right, that is sort of the initial hook.
There's not a lot of Spider Noir in this. He's not in costume very often.
Right. But it's a world in which things are heightened and there's powers and things like that.
Yep.
Not super well known, maybe, but it is a thing that people are becoming aware of.
Also, without getting too into it, there's a great cast. Brendan Gleeson as Silvermane is great.
Yep.
I do also mention, I've noticed this in watching The Boys, Invincible, and now Spider Noir. Mm-hmm. You know, Amazon has their whole music service, right?
Yeah.
They do a lot of music in their stuff. Like, there's, like, the opening sequence of this has a really good needle drop. I don't know who the musician is. But
you're talking about the credits.
The actual credits?
Yes.
Like, it's a really good song.
It is.
It's a good opening sequence.
I Shazammed it without thinking about it. I just like, oh, that's kind of good. I'll check this out later.
Yeah. But I noticed in The Boys and in Invincible, they use a lot of, like, there's a lot of music.
Did they also, during the sort of torch number song where she sings...
Yeah.
Did that kind of veer into a little bit modern sound?
A little bit,
Like, it starts out like very much a classic kind of 30s thing, like, what's her name sang in Rocketeer, or whatever.
Well, Laura Harden from The Office sings in The Rocketeer.
Yeah. But I felt like the music swerved almost into like a more modern sound, and I was
it does. It has some. I mean, they're going for stuff that sounds like it would have been in the 30s, but I believe it is modern music that sounds like it.
But I kind of like its energy. It sort of fits the weird alternate world vibe.
One mild music spoiler is toward the end they use an Amy Winehouse track.
Okay.
And Amy Winehouse is modern but feels
40s,
timeless 40s. So they're it's good. Whoever did the music does a good job.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about it, but I think in general a guarded reservation or a guarded recommendation from
I think so, and we'll get more into it.
We want to wait and have Nick here for that discussion.
Yep.
All right. That will do it for us this week. We'll be back next week with more, and maybe with Nick back, maybe we'll go back to our improv format and have Nick stop scripting everything, including this line right here.
Yeah, it's weird that he scripted this part in such detail, but I have to say what he says.
Yeah, and what he says is, Yo, Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.